iPhone used to have an app called Google Maps, but it's been taken away, and they now have an app called OS, which is on the iPhone as well as the iPad. They took away Google Maps because it was giving customers the wrong directions to their destinations. So iPhone decided to add their own app to iPhone, but this app isn't perfect as well. There are still errors that occur when using this app, and customers have called in to Apple to complain that they are not arriving at the correct locations. And Timothy, who was the CEO of Apple, he reached out to his customers complaining, and he fixed the situation. The manager who was actually in charge of creating this app, Timothy, actually fired. And there's actually been other problems occurring on the news in regards to Australia. There's a roadmap in Australia, and you all know that Australia is huge, and it's very dry, and there's not really a lot of busy places out there. So when people are using these apps, they're driving, and when they're driving, it's really hot. They're in places where there's no water, and it's dry, and there's just no connection. Wherever these people are driving, they're just in the middle of nowhere, and they're waiting many hours with no food or nothing to drink, and some of them are even walking just to get a connection. And then when they finally get a connection, they call for help, and they ask for people to come in, to get them and help them to find their way back to where they need to go. And then there have also been other complaints, the same complaints. And Apple is really having a hard time. They have to really fix all of these problems. And they're going to be, downloading a new app that is better than these recent apps. And it will be released at the Apple Store on December 13th. That's when they'll start downloading the apps, these new apps to the phone. And they're way more advanced than the recent apps that have been downloaded. And I'm thinking maybe it's going to take a couple of years to fix and really make some changes to these apps that were downloaded, because right now they're just a mess. And I never really had an iPhone. Back in the past, I never had an iPhone. Maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, I was actually using MapQuest. Whenever I would go to different places and I had to look for my hotel where I was staying at, which was near the airport, I would use MapQuest, and I would print out the paper to lead me to my destination. And when I would arrive at my destination, it was nothing compared to where I was supposed to be at. So I would find a plane, and I would see where the plane was about to land, and I would follow that plane to my hotel. Whew. Most of the apps are really good, and they're very trustworthy, but then other ones are just a mess. So it's not really a great idea to really depend on iPhone and iPad for maps and places and maps to get you to your destination.